One of the major obstacles for new marketers when it comes time to getting content for their site is the inability to develop a mindset that will allow them to sit down and put their thoughts on paper, actually write articles. They just feel that they're not writers and they can't do it. And this hurts them really bad because the internet is about information and the search engines want to see websites with useful content, not copied content, but unique content. In my blog training, I spend considerable time talking about methods to be able to develop a mindset to allow even inexperienced writers to write good articles for their sites. This video is an actual video from one of my training classes where I was attempting to describe how simple it is to write articles about something as abstract and silly as walk racing. Now, hopefully this video will help you develop a mindset and show you just how simple it is if you'll do a little research and sit down and write from the heart and in your own words, how simple it is to develop unique content for your site. In today's conference, I want to talk about article marking again. Now, you remember when we first did the keyword research and the product research for the walk site that someone suggested in the conference that we built, I found a number of keywords, and one of the keywords that I came across was walk racing. And I even included that out on the original article for this site, which was the article about searching for the perfect walk. And if we scroll down here, you'll see that I mentioned a couple of the different types of walks: traditional round bottom, flat bottom, walk with two opposing handles, walk with one small handle and one opposite long, a covered walk, and then racing walks. And I even put a link on it that took it to the article on the site. Now, the reason I included this, it does not get a lot of search volume, but it's unusual enough that my thought is that when someone's searching for information on walks, if they end up on this site and they run across walk racing, or if they're doing a search and they find that keyword or articles for that keyword in search, that they could very possibly end up on the site just out of curiosity. So what can we write about walk racing? Well, let's take a look at the article that I put together. Walk racing is not a unique stir-fry dish. You might think that walk racing is some mysterious Cantonese magical stir-fry phrase like the elusive wok hai or wok hei, which loosely translated means quality, life energy, or a special sizzle that is imparted to a wok dish when the chef magically imparts all the right ingredients and actions into its creation in just the right amounts. You may visualize a large wok teeming with sizzling vegetables and possibly shrimp or chicken bits being rapidly rotated back and forth through secret oils and sauces over a raging fire. Yes, that would be an excellent vision, but it would be miles from the true meaning of walk racing. Walk racing requires a very large wok. There is for sure a large wok involved. But what you would really have to visualize is a super large wok containing not vegetables and other tasty morsels, but instead a full-grown human being wrapped in padded protective clothing, a plastic face mask, and very large metal soup ladles on both hands and feet. Instead of a raging fire, this apparition appears on top of very slick ice and is normally moving at speeds reaching 60 miles an hour. These creatures sometimes appear as individual units, or in some cases actually contain up to 4 fully loaded walks connected together, all racing at unbelievable speeds down a course most often used by just slightly saner athletes riding luge sleds. As hard as it might be to believe, fully grown human beings fortified with copious amounts of beer and sausages actually gather a couple of times a year, and using large walks ordered from China with minor alterations such as foam padding around the edges and various coatings on the bottom, compete in the recently invented sport of walk racing. To succeed in walk racing, you must master walk control. If you spent just a little time balancing a large round bottom wok containing a goodly amount of vegetables and oil and other food bits, you might have some small idea of just how difficult it must be to control a large wok full of a grown man as it speeds down a solid ice racecourse during the walk racing, while the rider tries to control some of its motion with soup ladles duct taped to his hands and feet. However, before you spend too much time trying to wrap your mind and your imagination around this unbelievable sight known as walk racing, I need to further stretch your belief circuits by suggesting that these same supposedly sane individuals have to qualify for their race positions in an even more inhumane method. These walk occupants must race individually down a ramp and off a ski jump and sail through the air only to end up in a pond of ice-cold water. Their race position is decided by the distance they fly before they and their trusty walk do a tailspin into the mentioned above icy pond. I realize that I have more than likely stretched your imaginations to its outer limits and at the same time brought you to question my truthfulness. Fortunately, to rescue my reputation, I have below a video which describes these escapades in full living color. This video was provided by no less an authority than the well-respected Wall Street Journal. I invite you to spend a few minutes watching these walk races unfold and hope that what you see brings a broader meaning to your understanding of what you believe was the true nature and culture of the 1,000-year-old walk. Please remember, I'm only the messenger here and do not necessarily endorse, condone, or even believe what you're about to view. Okay, so you can see that this is just a bunch of silliness put together. It might not be very informative, but hopefully it would be entertaining enough to keep somebody on a site. And so it's just a matter of doing a little research, find out what's going on in the world, and then rewrite it in your own words. When we started this walk site about 5 weeks ago, remember, I had no idea what a walk was about. And now after 13 articles, I'm beginning to understand a little bit more about this traditional Chinese method of stir frying. So do a little research, sit down and put your words on paper, and you'll be surprised at how fast you can add content to your site as well.